Well, hello, darlings from beautiful Stockholm, Sweden. Hello. For those of you who are up late, if you're in the United States, it is 1:20 p.m. this time. I guess if you're on the East Coast, you're probably fine, right? What is it, 5 hours? Hope it might be. There we go. Okay, looks like we got 5 people watching. Excuse me, I'm flying out actually. What is it? They're picking me up at 4 a.m. So, yeah, I fly out 6:30. So I thought I would hang out with people. This is the last chat before I leave. Beautiful Scandinavia. I didn't get a lot done. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, hi, Oklahoma. Hi, Karen. How you doing? Still getting over that bug. I'm a lot better, but I'm not 100%. I really got hit pretty hard by what I think is some kind of an influenza or norovirus. Is that what they call it? Anyway, I've been very sick. I also came to the conclusion that I have, is it called flights? What is it? Airline. What is it when you get sick on an airline? From the jostling and the pressure and all of that. I think it just really takes a lot out of me. So I got some medicine and ginger because I do fly a lot, but it seems like every time I fly, I get sick. Hi, Donna. You're up. Oh, it's 6:30 and sorry about this cough. I'm drinking sugar. Probably shouldn't do that. It tastes so good. Good for your stomach. Hi, Rose Blue. Hi, Sarah. Oh, Sarah and Karen, you're both from Oklahoma. You should chit chat and see if you're close to each other. Maybe go for coffee. Meet meet at a local coffee shop. We were thinking of doing that, having little groups in different parts of the world. Yeah. Oh, is it motion sickness? Like I didn't take any ferries on the trip when I got here because I didn't think it would be good for my health, given that I had gotten ill on the plane. 4:30 in Portland. I mean, on the West Coast. Well, strawberry margaritas would have gotten me sick, but a little bit of brisket sounds wonderful. I do love a good brisket. I should do a brisket. I have my former mother, excuse me, my former mother-in-law had a great brisket recipe. You soak the brisket in raw onions, garlic, pepper, and apple cider vinegar overnight. You take it out. You saute some more onions. You pour that on top of it. Then you pour a bunch of spicy Heinz ketchup. Just use spicy Heinz. And you bake it for like 12 hours. And that was her Passover brisket. Oh, so should I say early morning? Maybe call it early morning. Good point. I wasn't sure what time it was over there. I wasn't sure what time it was. So I did a remote yesterday just to clarify that the cough will go away. It's just that I haven't talked and I'm drinking sugar. So it causes a lot of mucus. I wanted to shoot yesterday, but I wasn't able to shoot yesterday regarding the 6 phases or 5 phases, depending. This is what I got as a remote viewer about where we were headed. So it's probably important that people watch this video. As you can see, this was sent to the Israeli Defense Forces on December 23rd. And it was the calculations I did, which is probably similar to the same ones that the IDF came to. Because they agreed that their 3-phase plan looks the same as mine. And I think that's because we were all looking at the same data. I could get an ego and say it was mine, but that's not probably what happened. I just live on planet Earth. Everybody on I-24, everybody's been talking about it. So we talked about the 3 phases that Israel had presented. And it starts with ceasefire, and then 2 was to exchange hostages with Hamas and off a host country to get them to leave Gaza. They had to be lured. They had to be lured from Gaza. We need to get them out of there, attract them to another location, or they'll keep coming. Phase 3 was the rebuild. Phase 4 was to dismantle Putin's regime. And phase 5 was to dismantle Iranian leadership and to refuse to make any economic deals with Iran in the future until Iranian leadership has been dismantled. This was the calculations of least amount of death that I came to using remote viewing. Remember, phase 4 is to dismantle Putin's leadership. Phase 5 is to dismantle Khamenei's, because you can't have peace with the current administrations. They're not interested in peace with the West. I also said that based on the remotes, much of the revolution that is taking place, much of the assassinations that are taking place not because Israel is doing it, but because moderates inside of Iran are doing it. They're working with Israeli intelligence. They're working with the CIA. But they're in civil war. They're in civil war. And so because they're in civil war, they're the ones doing the killing. They're getting rid of their own crazies. They're getting rid of their own moderates. If you take a look at the article that I showed you guys, I'll go back to it. Israel cannot confirm or deny we had any involvement, but if you look at what has come out so far, Hamas political leader was killed Wednesday by an explosive device that had been planted in Tehran's guest house 2 months prior. It was locals. Sorry about this cough. It was local people inside Iran. Moderates. The same groups that took out Ibrahim Raisi. Wasn't a missile flying from Israel. It was a bomb inside the house that had been detonated. So what you see on the news is not necessarily accurate about what's going on. If you look at head of Hamas kissing Khomeini, this was a couple of months ago, actually. I think it was, what time was it? March? April? The impression I got from that interaction was that it was a kiss of death. I'm not talking about the recent kiss of death. I'm talking about the impression I got after the meeting of Raisi. I got to get some cup of water. I'm sorry. I'm getting over the sickness. The point I'm trying to make is this. Iran is in civil war, okay? There is a certain group of, that's ridiculous. The Iranians didn't do it. You're an idiot. I'm so tired of this crap, you know? And then 3 weeks later, oh, Whimsy was right. Here's what's going on. What it looks like to me as a remote viewer is that you have moderates. Some of the people that are working in Iran, they're just clerical as opposed to clerics, typists, secretaries, people that are just going with the flow, looking like they're obedient, good little secretaries. And you also have people inside the military, and their job is to dismantle this crazy, fundamentalist religious crazy, and instead replace it with what they're hoping will be an end to this religious extremism. And they want to open up relations with the United States and probably bring in a moderate leader. So the question becomes, who are they going to bring in? You know, there are some people that want to have the Shah's family come in. Just noticed there was a bit of dirt there. So not to be cleaning while I'm talking to you, but anyway, I just will while I'm here. The joys of travel, right? So that's basically what I saw. I saw people inside of Iran that were part of the resistance that were killing these people. And I didn't necessarily see Khamenei having a problem with it. So that confused me as a remote viewer. But at the same time, that's what I saw. So I have to tell people what I saw. How soon will Russia holler uncle and will NATO? Here's a question. Phase 4 is the dismantling. First comes the dismantling of Russia. Do you see how powerful HCRV is, you guys? Why is heart-centered remote viewing able to do this? Why are we able to do this? How were we able to get the private documents on international security like this? How was I able to do this? Does anybody want to talk about this? How is Dr. Whimsy able to do this? Am I special? Am I a little guru? Is that what I am? Am I a little psychic guru? How did I do this? How did Whimsy do this? How did Whimsy know 6 years ago that NATO would be marching on Russia? Want to talk about it? What happens when we are in the altered state of HCRV? Why aren't other psychics able to do this? Entertainment people. Da, 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 da. Where's their maps? Where's their data? Where's their dissertation? Why aren't they at the published at the UN conflict resolution papers? What's the difference? The difference is in technique. It doesn't mean they aren't doing good work. It's just a different technique. It's a different technique. And the technique that we use is to open your brain, to get past your own ego. Because we all got plenty of ego. I got plenty of ego. Ego keeps us alive and safe. But it's not good to be an ego when you're making military decisions or decisions that involve the safety of other people. So we now have a new situation, which is that the hostages have been freed in what appears to be a possible softening in the relationship between Russia and the United States or the West. Why do you think Putin is doing this? Stuff causes so much coughing and mucus, but I can't stop because it makes my stomach feel better. Do you think that Putin is desperate? Is that what this is? Does he know what you know? Does Putin know what you know? What do you know? You know that NATO plans to march on Moscow. That we're not going to have another winter with Russia and Ukraine. What about Iran? Let's talk about Iran. Does Iran know what you know? I heard that people are scared to come to see me as a reader. It's like, they're don't be scared of me. You should talk to my former clients. It's going to be the best thing if you come. I am going to protect you. I'm not. People do not fear that I am on. I've heard this over and over again. People are scared. I don't know. Tell them, they're afraid of remote viewers. Maybe I got into some documents. Maybe I might have opened up the hood, peeked in. I don't consider it breaking in. Hey, people, I come in peace, okay? I might have looked a little bit under the hood. It was necessary. Why is Elon Musk kissing Netanyahu right now? Oh, Whimsy. Oh, no, you didn't. You didn't pull the map out of their brain. Oh, Whimsy. You naughty, naughty, naughty girl. You got the plans for the boring rebuild in Gaza, the subway system. Maybe I even created it. I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe we all created it. Who knows? It was necessary. It was necessary. I come in peace, I promise. Stop being afraid of the psychics. Don't be afraid. I'm a nice wood. Hey, if I'm always there for you. Okay, I did maybe take a little. I might have, while I was making love to Elon Musk, I might have looked through his private documents a little bit. Yes, back massage, go for it. While he can love me, and I can get into his private information, do a personality profile. Interesting thing about Mr. Musk is he's motivated by saving the wounded bird. He cannot say no to a wounded bird. Keeps falling in love with wounded birds. Can't be attracted to a woman unless she needs to be saved. A wounded bird. Whimsy is a wounded bird. Well, actually, he's right about that. So he saved my rebuild, right? People are very complicated, aren't they? Right. So, Wendy's had a couple of readings. Now, am I scary, Wendy? No. I'm different, but I would never intentionally disempower somebody. Hi, Karen. I would never do that. I would never. My job as a reader is to tell you the truth. If you ask me to access private documents on somebody who is attempting to defraud you, I will get as much information as I can. My job, I look at it like I'm a psychic lawyer. I look at it like if in another lifetime I could have been like an advocacy lawyer. And my job is to keep you safe, keep you in one piece, and to empower you with the information you need to make the best decisions. So, yeah. Don't fear the psychic. I think that Russia is going to have to face the fact that this thing that happened in Ukraine has bankrupted them. They got nothing out of it. What did Russia get out of invading Ukraine? Nothing. A bunch of dead soldiers, 1 million Russians killed. That's twice as, isn't that the most Russians dead since World War II? Yeah, so when I went in on the hominy with Ibrahim Raisi, I saw them prepping the assassination. And then you get into an ethical problem. This is an ethical problem I will tell you about. If you know someone's planning to kill somebody, you have a moral responsibility to intervene, right? So I had an ethical problem, right? So I contacted Lena Rodriguez because I didn't know what to do. Do I keep my mouth shut? Do I share it with people and possibly it gets back to whoever? Or do I just keep my mouth shut? I contacted other people also. I think I contacted David Johnson and Linda as well. And their response was to not touch it. They were not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I mean, I don't think that if they did, I'm not aware of it, but their feeling was this is outside this. I think the feeling for many people, I don't want to speak for them, but many people, when they found out about it, the feeling was this is outside the scope of our training. So a lot of people didn't want to get involved, but I did share it with Lena Rodriguez. And then it happened. So we knew prior to the event, because we had seen Lena and I had shared info. We knew who was involved, and we had a pretty good idea of how they were tracking Abraham, et cetera, et cetera. And the concern I had, which I expressed to her, is that if I came public, then then certain people's lives would be at risk that are part of the civil war that's happening in Iran. So whether it was morally right or wrong, I chose to say nothing. And 6 months later, he was assassinated. And the same with when I saw the head of Hamas in the last time that he was in Iran, I knew that people inside Iran were planning on assassinating him, but that they would possibly make it look like Israel. And it looked as if Khamenei might have been a part of it, in the sense that they have to backtrack. They have to backtrack from this slowly disengage, and at the same time make people think that it's Israel. And Israel could certainly be a part of it, planning it, working internally. I have no doubt of that. But much of this is happening with the Iranians themselves. And so, of course, you have to go and cry on Lena Rodriguez's shoulder again. And say nothing. Because again, if you can say stuff privately, if you have a group that you can talk to, if you are a remote viewer, if you're graduating from HCRB, you should try and stay in touch with your colleagues so that you have somebody to talk to if you see something like that. If somebody's just going to randomly murder their ex-wife, I've been in this situation, you call the cops. If you see something like that, if somebody comes to your office and says they're going to kill somebody. In a situation like this, ethically, the only thing that would have happened if I'd gone public and named names is that the people that were part of the civil war would have been killed. So it's interesting. I'd like to know what other people's opinions are. Did I do what was ethically right, or did I do what was ethically wrong? If I knew what was happening, if I had the information, was it my moral responsibility at that point to say, this is how they're tracking him, these are the people involved, and start pointing out names? Or is it better for me to just shut my mouth and just let nature take its course? I don't know. I chose to say nothing and let nature take its course. Was that the right decision? I don't know. Yes, I received 2 death threats this summer. Blu-ray, thank you for that. Sometimes they do go after the remote viewer. This is one of the reasons why intelligence agencies usually keep us anonymous. This is supposed to be for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, I had 2 death threats this summer. which is one of the reasons why people wanted me to, and I had to report to the FBI. Because they knew where I lived. So, and they were pro-Iranian. So, it was suggested that I go on vacation. So that's one of the reasons why I've been traveling, and the FBI are monitoring the people that threatened me. But it's part of the protest at PSU. People recognized and following you home, yelling at you, that sort of thing. And you have to report that. So I thought it would be fun to go to Japan for a couple weeks. And then I took off to Stockholm, and then I'll be back for a month, and then I'm going to take off to Dublin. I'm just letting the police do their job. I'm sure they've been spoken to. But yeah, and Elon Musk had 2 people showing up with guns. We want peace, you know. I don't agree with his political views in many ways, but I agree with this project of the rebuild. And I don't want to. If someone is threatening you, you need to just maybe go get out of town for a while, call the cops and get out of town for a while. But at the same time, you have to live your life. You can't be just running around terrified that crazy people are going to come get you every 5 minutes, you know, like, I don't want to live my life like that. I don't want to lay my life down. I want to live alone. I don't want to put my life at risk. But in a situation like that, because I'm close to PSU campus, and people are recognize me, and then a group starts screaming at me. No, man, that's at that point, and they're following you. No, you got to, or they're no. At that point, you have to file a report. Let's do the impasse prayer. And these are young kids. These are young kids who don't realize that, you know, acting like this, you're going to ruin your life. You wind up with an FBI file. You're threatening somebody, and you know, I don't necessarily even think they have to go to prison or anything, but they're headed down a very dangerous path if somebody doesn't intervene with these kids. All right, let's do the impasse prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. Okay, so we can do some blitzes if you guys like. But yeah, I just wanted to follow up with the 5 phases I saw and juxtaposition with what's going on with the exchange of hostages. If you know phase 4 is that we're headed towards dismantling, you can be sure that they know it's phase 4. They know what's coming. And so Putin is very weak right now. I think Shogu, is Shogu even alive? He's gone missing. And all the people he helped teach to steal money from the military, they're all dead because they did what Putin taught them to do, which was to defraud and steal from their own military. And then they stood back shocked that now they don't have a military. Well, that's what happens when you don't invest in your military. That's what happens when you privatize to help your friends, but not necessarily help your country. Yeah. Early morning tarot card magic. That's what I changed it to. Okay, so we'll do like 4 cards just on Putin and Russia. If you could like, subscribe, that would be great. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for your support. Wow, he's not doing too good. How old is he anyway? Having to come to reality. Look at this. This is Putin. Look at his opposition trying to work with him. He's vulnerable enough now that he could be willing to withdraw. Look at this, trying to get away like a thief. They're going to be pulling back. He fears incarceration. Phase 4. This is phase 4. Putin tried in The Hague sooner rather than later. He fears being incarcerated. What a surprise. His time is finished. The wheel of fortune falls on him. His time has come to an end, just as Trump's time has come to an end. They had their time. They had their time in the sun. He has much heartbreak with his opposition. His life is about to change dramatically. He will hang up the war. The war will end soon. Or if it doesn't, he will be taken out. They're not going to have another winter in Ukraine like last year. He will have to hang it up. And he's facing incarceration. Do you think that this means, we'll just throw it out there. Do you think that this means that he's going to be isolated like Yeltsin was by his own people? Is that house arrest we're talking about? Is he weaker in Russia? You know, that's a really good question. Is Putin so weak now in Russia that he has no control over whether or not they place him under house arrest? House arrest, yes. Hand over to the West, no. Isolated, absolutely. Controlled, yes. Disempowered, yes. Hanging up Ukraine, yes. Putin's power in Russia. Oh, Jesus. Putin is so weak right now, he's fighting to avoid incarceration by his own people. He's going to be under house arrest. He's at the mercy of the West. No one can protect him. His generals are all gone. House arrest. He's cornered. His enemies will show him mercy. He fears he's dead. He's in the grave. He's in deep, it's a deep stop. 6 of Cups, they offer him armistice. He's finished. His country people will incarcerate him. They have judged him disfavorably, Russian leadership. He will have to hang up this fight. He doesn't have the support of his own people or military to continue. It's finished. Finito. This is finito. Hanging it up. He must hang up the opposition, show some mercy. Saving face. This Asian idea of to save face. Oh, we have a very nice donation. Thank you so much to the person who was kind enough to give a donation. Alex Bellino. You're very kind. Thank you. That's very sweet. I am staying safe. I'm just doing a lot of traveling, and I trust the police. I trust the FBI. There were a lot of people out of PSU, a lot of Jewish students, et cetera, that filed police reports. I had to drop out of school also. I was in community college taking film, and I just didn't feel safe going on campus, so I dropped. You know, it's unfortunate. There are a lot of really screwed up people in this world. And but our first priority is first go to the cops, file the reports, and never put yourself at risk. Don't be a hero. Let the police handle it. And that's what I've done. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, in answer to the question, it looks like Putin's finished. Those cards are terrible. He doesn't have the internal power to keep this going from what I can see. Oh, Rose Blue, hi, my love. Will Ukraine call Kremlin? You have 1 hour to evacuate, then turn those pretty buildings to rubble. I really hope it doesn't get to that point. I can tell you based on the remote we did 6 years ago where we follow the energy to its natural conclusion that it would end with NATO marching on Moscow and him being isolated and probably under house arrest. And it looks like he's pretty much there, which means that the CIA and American intelligence, European intelligence, MI6 are communicating with the opposition. Remember, they're the ones, MI6, that paid for the head of Wagner, Prigozhin, to, you know, he wasn't paid 40 million. Did they give him 40? Was it 40 million euro to go and declare? Because Prigozhin, oh, you don't pay me? You don't pay me? So I'm going to march on Moscow. So then they said, well, great. We don't have to march to Moscow. We'll just send Prigozhin to go march on Moscow, right? Remember that when we got into the, I never like to say I break into documents. I merely borrow them. But then don't hire a remote viewer if you don't like, you know, come on now. Oh, I'm a curious little kitten. I'm a curious little kitten. And I must look. And let me tell you, Prigozhin, this whole thing about how, oh, you can't spy, you can't get remote viewing information on the Russians. BS. They're so easy to, they don't have much protection at all. Prigozhin was willing to talk to everybody. Oh, you don't pay me, you don't pay me. Okay, I come then. I'm going to come beat you up, right? I had a very nice conversation with him. I was in the room with British intelligence. Oh, he didn't pay you. Well, that sounds like we can't tell you what to do, but if I can understand. Well, why don't you go march and tell him, well, we'll pay you. That's what I'm going to do. He was completely played by British intelligence. They completely manipulated his brain, and he's dead. Thank God they're on our side, right? Thank God British intelligence is on our side because they're pretty brutal. They just had him thinking they were on his side. You go get that money. You go tell him how it is. Ukraine. Too many legal blocks. There were too many things that were put up that prevented them from winning sooner. We put up a lot of stumbling blocks to the Ukraine. And that prevented things from getting done. You can see here from Ukraine's perspective, which is what we're looking at now, you have it's over, mercy of the opposition. So in plainer words, they're going to have to pay economic restitution. Hopes and fears, going back home, returning back. They're afraid this will happen again. Look at the red tape. It's not cool. Zelensky's King of Wands. Yeah, they're finished. He wants them out. Oh, he will let bureaucrats stay. Some of the administrative people get to stay for legal reasons. Yeah, it's their houses are gone. Look at this. They're going back to nothing. And they're afraid they're terrified they're going to be attacked again. They have to receive insurances. A new beginning, the rebuild. You guys want to interpret Page of Wands, Uriel as the final outcome, those of you who are students? Why would the new path of springtime be the final outcome? Also, it gives us a date that the rebuild will probably be starting in April of 2025. Why Uriel? Because Uriel cuts the new path. He comes in like the Aries or the Mars energy. Ali is the Lion of Judah, right? Uriel is Hebrew. It's the archangel that cuts the new path. Closely related to Uriel. Uriel. Lion, fire, like Leo. Also, you can see the spring. Remember, you can only see time confidently with wands. Some people hold pentacles because traditionally it was a week's wages. The growth cards are the wands, and this is a spring card. So we're looking at potentially them being out and negotiating repayment. People are afraid to go back to their homes because they don't have a lot to go back to. And it could have happened sooner, but they didn't get the help they needed from Europe. So we're looking at the rebuild starting. That's what I saw last time too. Spring of 2025 is when we start seeing major rebuilding. This must be something that Biden is currently negotiating with Putin. And I think that Biden realizes that Trump is finished. He needs to work with the Biden-Harris administration, though, to be honest with you, based on the information I can gather, Putin has been increasingly isolated by his own countrymen and is probably finished. His own country people are done with him. Hi, Tony. Oh, thanks, sweetie. Have fun with it. This is an opportunity for people to see what a real professional remote viewer profiler does and learn from it. We teach classes. It's not expensive, by the way. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to be a remote viewer. I enjoy it. All right, let's check on NATO. Hate getting sick. especially when you're on vacation. Problem is, airlines have all that. I always get sick on airlines. I'm so ready. I went to the pharmacy. I talked to the docs. I am so ready now. This is never going to happen to me again. I know precisely what to do now. I've got my hand sanitizer. I've got my mask. I got diagnosed with sickness. What is it? Air sickness. I have a medical thing with air sickness which I didn't know. So I got my Dramamine. I got my diagnosis. I'm supposed to stay hydrated, drink lemon water. I got my protein bars, so I'll never be poisoned again. And I got my ginger chews. Nothing. I am so ready now to fly. Like, I just used to suffer, like get sick every time I do a long distance flight and say, well, I guess it's destiny. And then it's like, this is a really crappy way to treat myself. Why don't I just go to a clinic, speak to a pharmacist and see what the hell is going on? And they're just saying, I think you've got air sickness and you got a bug, but I think you got a chronic air problem. It's like, yeah, I get sick every time I fly. Well, why don't you just take some Dramamine? See, I neglect myself. I need to stop neglecting myself. Love yourself. Take the Dramamine. It's a harmless medication. Okay. Ginger and Dramamine and protein bars and stay hydrated and, and wear your mask and clean yourself. This doesn't have to happen every time I go on a trip. It's just a little bit of responsibility on my part, right? Okay. Thought I would share that in case you have the same problem. All right, NATO. It's possible. Oh my God, you guys, why did you make me do this? Yeah, NATO's going in. It's not just hand over our hostages, hand over the prisoners, hand over our citizens. It's not just that Putin is softening. That is not what these remotes are saying. What these remotes are saying is that Putin's power has been severely diminished. That is what the cards are saying. His power is so diminished from within, and his army is so in retreat or working privately with the West that he doesn't even have the choice whether or not NATO comes in. I'll show you. You can see here. Make sure this is caught up. Okay, new contract. Look at this. This is NATO. They're building a foundation. This is a blueprint, right? And then look at the opposition. We'll give you anything. I'll meet you halfway. Reminds me of that song. It's better than no way. There must be some way. Hopes and fears, the high priestess. It's going to, this is bad because it not only indicates that NATO is taking over, but NATO is going to have access to the entire Russian operation so that the intelligence that they collected under Putin, everything is going to be look, this is hidden information, the Torah. The hidden information regarding the operation. Ace of Swords is victory. It's a victory in war. It's also a 1-year period, which means that NATO will come in for a minimum of 1 year. I read swords as years. It's also the survivor's card. It was slowly constructed. Look at that, it's over. The night that goes nowhere. They are not going to stop trying to advance in Ukraine. Look at this, what's coming. The hidden information. NATO is completely in private information. Russia had to concede massive amounts of private data. There's Zelensky. Zelensky has the Ace of Swords. Remember, Zelensky is the King of Wands. The Ace of Swords falls on Zelensky. You guys want to talk about it? Anybody here disagree with my interpretations? And I know many of you are readers. You can, we don't have to agree, but I think it's pretty obvious what that says. This is fun. I'm glad you guys could make it. Like, I'm awake because it's like 2 p.m. So I'm flying. They arranged a taxi to come here at 4 a.m. I know, but that's okay. And so I'm going to have dinner. And then I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to have some pasta or something like that. That's just going to like knock me out. I'll probably go to bed around between 6 and 8 a.m., wake up around 3, and then I should be fine. Flying back is never as hard for me as flying to. And then next month, I get to be in Dublin, which was my original vacation before all this crazy started. I was only supposed to do one vacation in Dublin, but then that crazy thing happened, and then I had a free plane ticket, so. I'd like to be more emotionally stable. Thank you very much. And these kinds of things really, I have so much respect for people that can stay emotionally stable people like Pete Buttigieg that can just stay calm in the middle of these things, because I become hysteric, war and violence and yeah. Yeah, the Japanese rebuild of World War II. I think so. And but you also have to acknowledge, look at that tower over the Ten of Wands. I mean, this is the fear of the people. They have been deeply traumatized for no reason at all, other than this crazy wingnut decided that he was going to do whatever. But of course they're afraid. And then they've got the tower over their home. Their homes are destroyed. I mean, and they're afraid that this is going to happen to them again. So, yeah. Oh, hello, Florida. Yeah, Rita, thank you. If when it comes to political look, if I send something like what I sent to the IDF, it's because they can throw it in the trash and just think, wow, this girl's a nut job, right? I probably look like and I am a Fruit Loop, right? But I'm a smart Fruit Loop. Some people think Elon Musk is a smart Fruit Loop. I would agree with that. A smart alien, right? But I was right. So what I always respect is I really respect the IDF and people in the military in general that can just stay calm, that are Jonathan Congress, IDF spokesperson, who's the first person I gave my rebuild to. He can be in the middle of a tunnel in Gaza being shot at, and he will just be calm. And it's just like, how do you do that? I mean, I am just hysteric, but I still managed to produce good work. But I admire anybody that can stay calm in the middle of. I still was able to give the remote and supply the data, but I mean, it's not, I'm just not, I admire anyone that can be emotionally stable in a crisis. Let's just put it that way. I'm still proud of my work. I just wish I had been calm and rational, and I didn't have time to do it. People are like, well, why didn't you do a better job? Like, why didn't you make it all fancy schmancy? And why did you do such a crappy drawing of the rebuild? Look, folks, It's not like we had 20 years. I mean, I had a month, right? I mean, or a month and a half, 6 weeks to get this together because I sent it on the 21st of November. So, and the attack happened October 7th. So and people had asked, we need you to draw it out, IDF, etc. Send it. It's not going to look like it's not going to look like a 2-year thesis that's been nicely polished. It's like, this is a person, we're being shot at, folks. This is me just trying to get anything out so that Mr. Musk and the IDF can see the concept. And then he's the engineer, and the Israeli Army Corps of Engineers. Mr. Elon Musk, he is a trained engineer. And so he's the one that's going to put the boring tube in. I mean, it's like, this is his area. This is just me writing. My thesis took 40 years. That looks professional, but I'm not a professional artist. My job was just to get it to Mr. Musk, get it to the IDF in some form so that, Gallant calls it bubbles. I don't care. I just have to get it to them as fast as possible. And then, okay, now we know what she's talking about. And then they have to put things together practically. Like, what was the scientist conceiving of? And is this aligned with what Mr. Musk and Netanyahu and the IDF, like, how can we make this work? But this is the original draft of that was given to the IDF. And there'll probably be more stops than just, this many stops on the subway system or the boring system. You could add a few more here, a few more oasis safe zones. But I just put them at where the major attacks had happened, like Kibbutz Belly, Nor, Sderot up here. But they can do whatever they like. I just wanted them to get the basic concept, and we didn't have a lot of time. My sister was like, you could have done a better job. I was like, Bambi, they don't need me to be Da Vinci. They just give Mr. Musk something. It's like, I'm not an artist. Can you use this, Mr. Musk? Okay. Now we know what this crazy lady is talking about. So, yeah, no time. Netanyahu, well, there are things going on that Netanyahu's the prime minister, and Netanyahu wants to do the rebuild, and Mr. Musk wants to do the rebuild. And so there's going to be a rebuild, but the rebuild will happen whether Netanyahu is there or not. But I should say that Mr. Musk, Elon Musk, I'm not going to go acting like a freaking bird brain anymore. I mean, like, we're all adults. He has reasons why he is voting how he's voting. But the bottom line is that whether we like it or not, Netanyahu is the prime minister of Israel, and that's the person that's overseeing this. And so even if they didn't, if he had wanted somebody else to do the rebuild, if Mr. Musk had said, well, I want to do the rebuild with Benny Gantz, or it wouldn't happen because the prime minister right now is Netanyahu. So you have to just go with whoever is the person that's the prime minister. And right now, that's our prime minister. So I don't think Mr. Musk wants to be in some kind of argument. Well, we don't like our prime minister. It's like, this is the person who is overseeing the rebuild. The rebuild is happening. It's been passed by the IDF. war cabinet. And when the elections come up, we can vote him out and maybe get somebody else in there. But the bottom line is that he has to work with, rather than attacking Mr. Musk, he's working with the existing prime minister to try and do something that's going to make the world a better place. So I don't want to go attacking him because he didn't elect Netanyahu. He's just the engineer that's doing the rebuild. This is they're doing the same thing in the water. You can track these boats. If you're a Gazan and you feel like you're not getting enough fishing rights, if we track the boat, and if you're OASIS compliant, then you're going to have more fishing rights. Here's an example of that. This is just some of what you can do with the magic of HCRB. You can even see a rebuild. You can do all kinds of amazing things. And then it's a different way. It's also how Mr. Musk uses his brain, is you try and step back and look at things objectively without any emotion attached, and just look at it from, you just look at it from a non-emotional perspective, and you try to see the bigger picture. And that's what he encourages in his students. And actually, I think he just opened a school, which is good. So again, even if you don't agree with him politically, I do think that this is a great way to get people to use their whole brain and try and see the bigger picture. Minute details will come later, but usually when you want to be able to see the bigger picture. So that's certainly how I wrote my thesis, was this idea of seeing the bigger picture. That what is the problem? So you have things you have to do, 6 things you have to do. This thesis it took me about 20, 30 years. I don't want people to think I just woke up one morning and wrote this thesis. This is my life's work. But the problem is summarized in a paragraph. And then we have the solution to the problems. 6 problems, 6 how we deal with it. Sure, there will be problems along the way that we have to address, who's eligible, etc. And it just so happens that Mr. Musk had a similar thesis that he wanted to see based on the rebuild in Japan. And so that's why he liked my rebuild. But it certainly is trying to, when you meditate and you get above yourself and you just try and see things objectively. What I learned from this experience, though, and after weird people were threatening me, is I learned that not everybody wants peace. You want peace, I want peace, but not everybody wants peace. It's unfortunate. Yeah, Mr. Musk is the engineer, and he's not even necessarily, if he was going to vote, he wouldn't necessarily, in Israel, he wouldn't, if he could, I don't think he would vote for Bibi. I think he would vote for Benny Gantz, because, not that he would publicly say it, because it's not his place to say that. He's just been hired to do something. This is his job. But I think it's because of this idea he's talked about of fossilized ideas and people that have been in politics too long. And, now Netanyahu wants to do a 180 and say, look at this great rebuild, when the rebuild is in opposition. It's everything that Netanyahu didn't do for 18 years or however long he could have done it. And now all of a sudden it's his idea and it's a great idea. It's like, You've done everything in your power to block integration. And now the Oasis one is your idea. So the point is that it is what it is. Guys, it is what it is. Let's do something different. Let's do court reform. Do you guys think that Supreme Court reform is going to happen? You know what? I'm going to get my medicine. Oh, I have it here. See, I went to the clinic. I'm ready to rock and roll. Got my meds. All right. I picked some of that up. I'm ready. Got my mask. No more getting sick on planes. I'm going to have a great time in Dublin watching other people drink. I don't drink. All right, Supreme Court reform. Supreme Court reform. Yes, Helen, you can change someone's mind, and there's all kinds of ethical problems with that. We talk about that in class, the ethics of HCRB, because you can control people's thoughts. You have to be very careful. Supreme Court reform. There's going to be a big fight. The Supreme Court is worried. The Supreme Court's going to be defending themselves. They're going to be under defense. You can see this is the Supreme Court. You guys see it? So, is that right? Yeah, you guys got it. This is the scales of justice. You can see here with the Six of Pentacles. The intent of Kamala Harris is to create justice. This is the sword of mercy and justice, or the Six of Pentacles is mercy regarding the courts. She wants to balance the courts. You can see that here. Again, for those of you who are learning with me, you can see the balancing of justice. You see the balance of the law in the seventh house, excuse me, because this is a blitz. A blitz is the 7th, 8th, and 9th. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th house of a Celtic cross is a blitz. The opposition is the 8th house. She's having issues. This is like Roberts. Hopes and fears is a 6 of swords. That can be a stalemate. It's not going anywhere. It could be that we have this kind of stagnant thing happening in the courts. But look at this 7 of wands, which is to defend the territory. A healing has come to the courts. Archangel Raphael. Ten of Cups. Someone is sick in the courts. There is a health angel here. Archangel Raphael, who is who brings the elixir or medicine. This is the medicine angel. This would indicate someone possibly is ill on the court. Is Thomas okay? Is he still in the hospital? She will be victorious in reform. She will heal the court. She comes to heal and balance the court, and she succeeds. She's going to increase the number. She's going to add an additional person to the courts. I don't think we're going to have 9. I think we could have 10 cups. Part of what she's going to do is to bring in something that looks almost like an alternate. It's the time. We've been wanting to do this for some time. It will be a successful successful. This is also somebody sick or something in the court. There's a need for healing. Someone is praying for a healing. I wonder who that is. I'm feeling like when this angel comes, it's often an illness also. That's very interesting. I wonder who that is. Oh, hi, Karen. I was hoping you would contact me. I was hoping to connect with you. Yeah, I got a norovirus on the plane, and I got a very, very heavy dose of it. Something I ate was rancid. It was very, very, very bad. I almost had to go to hospital. It was very bad. But it's never going to happen again. I am so ready. Is it Alito? Oh, Amy? I hope Amy's okay. She's like the one that's the least crazy of all of them, of the conservatives. Doesn't she have an autoimmune thing going on, though? I'm not out to get her because she seems to be the most conservative, according to rulings, is Gorsuch, believe it or not. Gorsuch is actually the most right, and then second is Thomas, and then third is Alito. And then fourth is Kavanaugh, and then fifth is Barrett in terms of rulings. So Barrett is not the first on my list to kick out. I don't really have there should be I have no problem with conservatives. The problem is when it's a takeover and when it's not rational and when they're making decisions that someone can be a king. But she wouldn't be the first person I'd be going after. It would be somebody like Thomas or Gorsuch. Kavanaugh, because he's, got a horrible history, but even Kavanaugh is not considered the most conservative on the court. I'm warming up to Amy Coney Barrett because I think she's interested in being more a moderate conservative than others. She's actually been, to some extent, according to rumors, isolated from the 4 men that are conservatives, and it's become a problem. She's just been pushed out, and she's been writing. I think she's experiencing sexism and this kind of ordering her around. Come on, little lady, you're gonna be the vote to do. And she's there to be a real judge, and so that's created, I think, an interesting rift that we can kind of watch in real time. This Amy Coney Barrett starting to slip and crack and having real conflicts with people like Gorsuch and Thomas. And I think that crack is interesting to watch. All right, let's see what's going on with Alito. Thank you, everyone, for liking, subscribing. Thank you for the donations. They were very much appreciated. Okay, Alito. He's fighting with Amy Coney Barrett. I wonder why. It's probably that ruling, right? I think he has a health problem, and I'm concerned about drinking. I feel that this is Amy Coney Barrett, the woman judge. He's having a conflict with her. Also, he won against her, Ace of Swords. I won. She is the one that was trying to reform the thing about king being above the law and wrote some dissenting comments. So you can see this rift. They dominate her. Ace of Swords, I got you, babe. You're under my thumb. And this kind of high priestess is kind of emerging. This kind of angry high priestess is coming up. Hopes and fears to take her weapons away. This is a real thing. We brought you in here to obey us, to be our little handmaiden, and it's not working how they had thought. They want to control her, Five of Swords. Wow, this is looking pretty ugly if you really want to know the truth, you guys. Knight fleeing, the Knight of Wands flees and goes to war, could indicate that there's a war breaking out. Is he fleeing away or towards? Reproductive rights. They're going after reproductive rights. Empress is reproduction. See, look, she mastery. She wants mastery. She wants to be a judge. They have an agenda. Hopes and fears. She won't be compliant. They can't control her. Yeah, they're trying to control her. Alito is trying to control her. That's basically what it looks like. Conservatives attempting to control Amy Coney Barrett's voting record. Look at this desire for mastery and professionalism. Look at their fear, compliance, taking the weapons of war away. It's all about submission, being victorious regarding issues of fertility. What's that about? Going to war and trying to get cooperation. They're trying to get her to submit. That's what it looks like. To be a good Christian woman and submit. You've got to submit. This rebellion streak inside of you, Amy Coney Barrett, is part of the Satan. Satan is making you must submit, Amy. And there's this fighting back. No, I'm a real Supreme Court judge, and I'm going to rule based on mastery. No, we're going to isolate and take away the weapons of power. We're going to cut you down a little bit. We're going to isolate you so that you can submit to the four conservative males. That's what it looks like. It's very likely he is, because Knight of Wands is a flight card. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Marjorie. They put her there for that reason, and she's not complying the way that they thought she would. Now that she's there, she's an independent thinker, and they've got a problem with that. Hi, Colorado. Good morning. This is my last video before I go back to the United States. Oh, hi, Deborah. Good to see you. Thank you for your lovely review. I deeply appreciate it. Well, I'm going to be healthy and happy in Ireland because I am not going to be getting sick on the plane. It's just not going to happen. All right, here's a question from Karen W. Because as many of you know, Israel wants to have elections to get rid of Netanyahu. That we want a special election. Let's take a look at the future of Netanyahu. That ginger helped my throat. I stopped coughing. I know it's annoying for you guys. I'm sorry. All right. Netanyahu, I'm curious about this one. It's dirty politics, isn't it? Well, let me show you what I've got so far. Two of Pentacles is the swindler's card. Within a couple of weeks, back and forth. Remember, a workman's wages is one pentacle, right? A week is a pentacle. From the days when we were paid a weekly wage. So in a couple of weeks, we could be seeing something strange going on here with him. He's also pulling a swindler's card. His opposition gets their wish. This is not, you have to also understand that the war party, the war cabinet was dissolved, which was supposed to be made up of opposition leaders, Gallant, Gantz, Bibi, Schmullerich, and it dissolved. But you can see his opposition is getting what they want. And one way is for him to just work on programs like Oasis One, which are now gaining support in Israel, these rebuilds, and this new way of viewing the problem going forward, which is that helping move towards integration. And we can see here it's happening very, very quickly. Here's the rebuild. So the bigger argument they're saying is not necessarily that we have to pull him out right away so much as we have to influence a policy change. And then that he changes, that October 7th changes him and he begins to move more towards moderate understanding that this cannot go on. And now we're seeing a rebuild. Oh, starts next month. That's probably why Elon was meeting with him and went to hear him speak at the Capitol. War is coming. War. They don't want the rebuild. People are really afraid of this rebuild. Look at this. He's still got problems. He's got bad relationships like with Trump. They want to give this to Trump. And that's just like, Trump didn't have anything to do with my thesis, honey. I want to do a third. Sometimes I do if I want more attention from it. Scholarship, they're half right because, they got me as a researcher, but no, I shouldn't say that. But, it's going to be a quick war. They could probably demolish the threat of Hezbollah. They're probably going to be attacking Hezbollah over the next 3 weeks. It could hit them hard, particularly if we had support from the U.S. Look at that Ace of Wands. I read them as 1 month. Other people read them as 6 months because that's how long it takes a tree ring to grow. I will let you decide. But we could say 1 month. 1 month to 6 months, Israel will be victorious in war. You can see here, war and then victory. Hopes and fears, economic support for the rebuild. Scholarship. His relationship with Trump is not helping him. And it's not necessarily good for the country. But it looks like if we do go to war with Hezbollah, it will probably end within 1 to 6 months, and with a victory for Israel. And that makes sense because I think that Iran is trying to pull back from this. Yeah. Ginger is a very good medicine. I was like almost getting laryngitis today, I noticed, which is a drag. Just bugs everywhere. Bugs, bugs, bugs. These taste great. It's honey and ginger. I got it from the pharmacy. They had a pharmacist and a doctor. I got a consult. It was very nice. I told them what was going on with me, and I said, every time I fly, they're like, yeah, you're getting sick from flying. Why don't you just take Dramamine? I'm a doctor, and I felt so stupid. Oh, that's right. It's the plane. It's the jig for 14 hours. Do this for 14 hours. So of course I'm throwing up. I feel sick. It takes me 2 days. Why do I always get sick? I'm always sick for yes, because you're getting sick from flying. So just take some Dramamine. I was like, oh, God, I can't believe I'm so stupid. Of course that's what it is. Is my camera backwards? Probably. You want me to fix it? How do you do this? Is it general? It's supposed to be some way where why do I not? There's somewhere where you're supposed to switch it to, all right, hold on. There's my high definition. There's my video. Huh. Oh, well. For some reason, I can't find it. Yeah, mirror. I think I'm mirroring. Oh, it's not mirror, is it? Oh, yeah, it is mirroring. Is it mirroring? Yeah, it's mirroring. I'm on my mirror. Dramamine. When we get medical training. When I went to medical school, I went to a medical school that was naturopathic based. And so, bye, Tracy. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you on Friday if you're in our class. We're doing the Jewish origins of the Tarot. We're learning Hebrew. Hopefully you guys are enjoying learning to read Hebrew. They're learning to read Hebrew, and they're learning some Hebrew words. And we're looking at the Torah origins of the Tarot. And it's a fun class. So I'll be back teaching that. We're going to have that for another 5-6 weeks. And then after that, we will be doing our HCRV training. So Friday, 6 p.m., which is that going to be the 5th? What day is that? When am I back in class? Oh, wow. Today is Friday? Wow. How did I get so confused? Okay, so if today is Friday, it's not going to be till the 9th? Oh, I'm not teaching you guys until next week. Wow, that sucks. Maybe we can do something. Maybe we can do a mystery school, an extra one on Wednesday the 7th, just because I like teaching that class. Pepto-Bismol. Oh my God. Yeah, I should get some Pepto-Bismol. I hadn't even thought. Yeah, like I just neglect myself too much, you know? I gotta like, why am I like that? I gotta know, love yourself, take care of yourself, take your Dramamine. Maybe I'll go out and get myself some Pepto-Bismol. So are we done? No more questions for me? Is it time for me to say goodbye to all my company? MICKYMOUSC. Any celebrity gossip you guys want to get into? Any royals? We chased people off with that stuff before. Well, I don't know. I know. Let's see, what's the latest on the royals? I can't think. Kate is stepping back again for the unforeseeable future. She did Wimbledon and then she finished. So Kate Middleton is kind of possibly not going to be at any royal shows anytime soon. And not only that, but no royals went to the garden show this year, which has never happened, in like 30 years. Harry refuses to bring his family there because he's afraid they're going to get killed. So I don't blame Harry, considering what they've done to him. I would never let my child go into an environment like that. I mean, the racism in Britain is shocking. I mean, I thought we were the bad people, but we wouldn't act like that. We were happy. For me, I was in Los Angeles. I got a slice of cake from her wedding. People in LA were celebrating and cutting cakes and at the restaurants in LA. And it was actually Chuck's birthday. So that was fun because eating some of Meghan Markle's friends had a big party at the Roadhouse. Is that what it's called? On Sunset Boulevard. All her college friends, they came in like wedding, beautiful gowns, and they like her sorority sisters, I think they were. And they were wearing tiaras. It was very funny. And they were riding the Bronco in evening gowns and tiaras. It was so funny. And we didn't know anything was going on. I was just taking Tawny, Chuck and I went to dinner. And it was to celebrate, nice, quaint get together to celebrate Chuck's birthday. And when we showed up, there was this banners, congratulations, Meghan and Harry. And it's like, what did we just walk into? And then the waiter said that they were, I guess, college dorm friends or college, whatever. But those women, you could tell that they were raised really well. I mean, these were truly ladies. It's like, whoa, these were ladies. But it was really funny when they got them to do the Bronco. And they got a little tipsy and they were like, oh, we love you, Megan, and then falling off. And, it was really nice. It was really sweet. You see everything in Los Angeles, particularly if you're at a restaurant like the Roadhouse on Sunset Boulevard. I mean, everybody goes there. You always see famous people there. You want to see famous people hang out at Earth Bar? Hang out at Earth Bar and have a drink. on a Sunday. Get there at around 10 a.m. and you'll just watch all the famous people come and get their smoothies. If that's what you're into. Meghan and Harry are good people, but it goes back to the remote we did when they first got engaged, where Harry said, I love my family very much. But they have a lot of strange ideas about a lot of things. They've got strange ideas about a lot of things. I love them very much, but they've got some strange ideas about a lot of things. That was actually one of the first things he said to me. I was like, I had no idea what was coming. Yes, it takes forever for the working man to get ahead. Excuse me? What did you just say? That was one of the first things he said. It takes forever for the working man to get ahead. Who are you? And then I love my family very much, but they have strange ideas about a lot of things. Okay, let's see how this ends. Right? You hear somebody talking like that and you think to yourself, whoa, how is this going to end? Because it cannot be easy for somebody who thinks like that to be in a family like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm really excited. I've never been to Ireland. It's going to be a really fun trip. I don't know what a Draco is, Leia. Oh, that was debunked. There was no trans boxer. She did not get beaten up by a trans person. That's not what happened. The woman who beat her up is a woman, has always identified as female. It's a fake internet rumor. And shame on Elon Musk for putting that up. I put up community notes and he didn't. I'm like, why? He's so upset at Vivian Jenna, his daughter, for cutting him off, and he's not handling it well. I mean, they need mediation. I mean, he's just really upset about losing his kid. And the truth of the matter is that they both need to go together into mediation, because I think she's just really hurt that he left. I think that I understand both of them. She thinks he was cruel. He was a cruel, absent father. But when you become Elon Musk, and I have been both of them, I feel like I'm toughening up my son, because if I don't protect him, they're going to do to him what they did to me. And I'm not saying I'm even consciously aware that that's what I'm doing, but that even though Vivian Jenna thinks I was cruel to her on some primitive level, I didn't want what was done to me to happen to her. And in maybe a twisted way, I was trying to protect her, toughen her up before she got out there and got the crap beaten out of her like I was. And it was wrong. I shouldn't have done it, and I wasn't consciously aware that I was doing it, but I saw how my son was, and there was this deep fear in me. That if he didn't toughen up quick, they were going to wipe the floor with him, just like they wiped the floor with me. That's me as Elon Musk. So I hear it. Sometimes when a parent is abusing us, they actually think they're saving us. Got to toughen them up, right? So, people are really, really complicated, aren't they? He's angry because he was tortured every day in school because they called him a pussy, right? So what happens when his firstborn that survived, the first one dies, then his child dies? Sudden infant death. I can't even imagine the pain of that. And then the next child, I got to protect this one. They're not taking this one, right? Got to toughen them up. Being willing to go deep into someone's psyche and share their world, even if we don't approve of how they handled things, it gives us an opportunity to know them. I understand you, and I understand your fears. But, I mean, until those things are talked about, it's going to be hard for these two people to heal. I believe that Vivian Jenna and Elon Musk will make peace with each other because I've heard both of them. But they need mediation. And now he loses his son. He thinks, I lost my son, I lost. But one thing, he was terrified. I'm going to lose my son. He's going to die, right? Because it already happened. And it nearly happened to me. I got it. You understand? Go deep. That's my suggestion to those of you that are remote viewers or in training. Be willing to just, I want to know you, Mr. Musk. I want to be in your world. I want to love you unconditionally. Show me I see the terror. I see the terror. Not another babe. I'm not going to lose another son. Don't do this to him. What happened to me, right? Now I see. Right? Understand just how complicated people are. All right. William. Will William be king? I think probably yes, but let's take a look. Okay, William. It's a business. This is the first thing I would tell you as William. My family business is a business, and I treat it like a business. This is the firm, and I've got a lot on my back. I got a lot on my plate. I'm William. Now I'm William. And I'm very frugal, and I'm very aware of this is a business. How much is going out? How much is coming in? Who's doing what and who needs to be fired? Who's on the books? Who needs to come off the books? I want to see everything explained, every red cent, because this is our business. This is the family business. This is our job. It is a business. The Queen of Pentacles is the firm. This is a business, honey. The opposition. I think Harry and Meghan are fine. There's this feeling that they don't have to deal with this. Do you understand? As William, look what's on my plate. I've got a business is a female form, right? So a business is the Queen of Pentacles. The firm, I am the keeper of the firm, the business. You're off making your own money, and that's great, and you're building your own kingdom. But I have the burden of this. I often want to flee. I want to flee this. I can't escape the headache of this business. Do you understand? As William, I cannot escape the business. You're sitting there pretty in your beautiful little world, Harry. You've got your fun. Well, good for you. You're not the victim here. I have to do this. You don't. So stop billing yourself as the victim. That's how I feel. Look what I have to deal with. Look what I have to contend with. I often think I want to flee like a thief and hang the whole bloody thing up. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to control it, cut cost, and reduce. I'm trying to reduce it. I'm trying to get the crazy, the crazy thing that was going on with my mother. Good for you, Harry, that you went off and you did whatever. But I've got to deal with this. And criticizing me when you don't have this on your plate, I resent you for that. The clarification. I will be fair. I will be fair. I will be fair. Let me handle things. I will be fair. Opposition, keeping secrets and keeping a distance, right? The family inheritance. I keep seeing another child potentially attached to Megan. There's another child attempting to come in. I don't know about if she's getting older, though, but I keep seeing this potential behind the veil. The child behind the veil. The hopes and fears. You know, it looks to me like he is dismantling. They are slowly phasing out the monarchy, and that he had. I feel as William, like I have a lot on my plate. I've got a lot of decisions to make. A lot of stuff has to be cut. Reduce, reduce, reduce. Diminish, diminish, diminish. And hang up. There's huge areas we need to hang up. It was built up under my grandmother, my ancestors, and now we have to bring it down, 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 cutting costs, down, down, down. Be fair with people. Give people good pensions when you retire them, but it's coming down. Everything is coming down. This has ruined me as well. It's ruined me. This life has destroyed my life. It's torn the family apart. It's created resentments. It's brother against brother. Yeah. You have to let it go. It's just not healthy for anyone. I'll see that the people that were with us for a long time receive a decent pension. How do you guys feel about it, what he's saying? Do you guys want to talk about it? What do you guys think? How do you feel about what he's saying? When you hear William talking, how do you feel? Are you able to feel empathy from him when you get into his head? What do you guys think? It's certainly not a life that I would want, right? It's not, I don't know. I can't personally, I can't imagine I can't imagine that. I think that would be quite the burden, wouldn't it? You know, to have to grow up like that. All right. So next up, thank you, Joel. He's the floor director. Thank you, Joel. How are you guys feeling about Project 2025? Do you think that I don't know. Oh, I guess people aren't ready to move on. Excuse me. We're going to go to Project 20. I just want to make sure. Okay, I'll do one more on William. William feels that he's being stabbed in the back. He's being, you have no idea what is on my plate. You have no idea what my wife and I have sacrificed. You don't have a freaking clue. And you're out there trashing us. You have no empathy for Catherine or myself. How we're desperately trying to do the right. You don't have a freaking clue. That's how I feel. I feel 10 of Swords. I feel completely betrayed. Nobody can hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let's check William, and then I'll go back and check the other question that you had, Joel. William. Just a lack of empathy. I just feel, Catherine and I just feel that there was just a shocking lack of empathy for our situation and how hard we have worked. And 90% of the work we do, you don't see. I mean, it's just, it's not what you think. Meetings and conversations and planning before events. And it's just endless work that you will never see. And the letter writing campaign. I mean, it's just, you don't have a clue. You think people saying we just go out and wear pretty dresses, you think that those things just happen by themselves? It takes hours, months to plan events like that. Meetings and conversations and I've been betrayed. I feel there's no empathy whatsoever for my situation, just being attacked by my kid brother, lying, misrepresenting me, misrepresenting my wife, misrepresenting how hard we work, just completely clueless about, no empathy. We literally gave up our lives for this. My wife gave up her life for this. We're exhausted, and it's just very rude, very insensitive. We will do the best we can with what we have to work with. I do feel that I've been well situated. Six of Pentacles, receiving justice. Look at this, hopes and fears, lovers. Could there ever be a reconciliation? I don't know. 10 of Swords. I feel, again, to repeat myself, 10th house, 10 of Swords. I feel I've been completely betrayed by my own brother. The way he's depicted me as some spoiled, it's just no clue of how hard we've worked. We literally sacrificed our lives for this. The firm. The power of the firm, it's the same. Now the cards are repeating themselves. So when your cards are repeating, it usually means that you're pretty much done. Is there a reconciliation possible? I think that empathy needs to happen. I think that Harry needs to really be empathetic to the fact, I can't get out of this, folks, as William. And yes, reconciliation is possible. Possibly in the next 6 months. All right, we'll do a couple more, and then I think we're going to call it a day. Yeah, no life. I mean, I don't feel it. I feel like my entire life, since I was fucking born, and it's just like, God, how could you be so damn insensitive? That's me as William. People often get confused and they think it's me talking, and that people, I unsubscribed, I was so angry. They're like, oh no, I'm a professional empath. It's my job to be the person, not to how you feel about William is your own decision. I should say that to you now. It is my job as an empath to make them real for you, to make their internal thoughts real for you so that you're able to have a window into their world. Whether you approve of William or not, that's not for me to judge. That's for you to decide if you approve. My job is to, as a professional empath, is for you to be able to be inside their world, to have a glimmer into their world, so that you understand why they make the choices they make. Yeah. Okay. So what was the question? I wanted to get to another question from Joel regarding project. Have you guys heard about this Project 25? Have you guys heard about it? Okay, so it's the Heritage Foundation, right, that's backing this. And so it's a window into who they are, which is a type of charismatic Catholic, right? It's okay, so let's take a look. Jenny Thomas. Okay. Let's take a look. Project 25. They're backtracking. Private documents and correspondence, etc., has been found by reporters, etc., exposing it. And as a result, it's going to be destroyed because of exposure. You can see, take a look. Flees like a thief. I didn't say that, right? A new beginning for the opposition, hopes and fears, the courts, grief. They still have a Two of Cups because there are a lot of people that agree with them in the United States. They're very confused about where to go from here after being exposed. Look at this. Look at us moving in with a new beginning and Three of Pentacles, and also evidence against them. Hopes and fears. The courts. I knew it. Justice in the court. Look at that. Final outcome. They're going to try and get back in. They're going to have to modify. Heritage will have to modify. Project 25 will be scrapped, but some of it will remain. Some of it will. Oh, hi, Janice. Janice, good to see you. Mary Jane McCarthy, thank you for being here. Elizabeth M., thank you. It's going to be dismantled. Lovers would indicate, and Five of Cups would indicate that they're going to try and retain some of what they've achieved so far. But for the most part, they're going to be exposed. Yeah, that is how I would interpret those cards. Wow, that was a lot of fun, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Like I said, I'll be back on the 3rd. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, I still have openings on the 5th for phone consultations and for if you need to see me as a doctor. The information is below. All right, love and light to you all. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you. God bless, much love, and peace out. Bye, everyone. Bye.